So let's discuss this whole Trump Nigeria situation. And the world's up in arms about it. The mainstream media is again saying, no, this is just rubbish. But let's look at it from the get go. Trump ordered the Pentagon to prepare for possible action in Nigeria. In a fiery social media outburst, Trump directed the Pentagon to ready itself for military intervention in Nigeria, escalating US pressure on the African nation amidst accusations of anti-Christian violence. This is where the world's upset, because it's true. Now, could Trump have rather approached the president and said, listen, I'm willing to help, let's put an end to this Christian violence, how much do you need in troops and support, let's get it done? Absolutely. But yeah. The move follows Trump's designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern for religious freedom violations, a label under the International Religious Freedom Act signaling severe concerns, as it surely should be. Trump's post decried the mass slaughter of Christians, vowing to halt all US aid and assistance immediately. We may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. He added a warning, I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attacked our cherished Christians. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth swiftly endorsed the order, posting "Yes, sir" alongside a screenshot of Trump's message. He elaborated, the killing of innocent Christians in Nigeria and anywhere must end immediately. Now we know the enemy doesn't want that to end. He's only getting warmed up. The Department of War is preparing for action. Either Nigerian government protects Christians or we will kill the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. Nigeria's leadership fired back forcefully. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu rejected the intolerance label, saying, the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality, nor does it take into consideration the consistent and sincere efforts of the government to safeguard the freedom of religion and beliefs for all Nigerians. So, typical African leader, as our leader here in South Africa is exactly the same, saying, no, everything's fine. We look after all religions in our country, and in South Africa, everything's fine. We look after all our farmers and races in this country. Just look at the stats. Stats provided by the government doing exactly the thing that everyone's saying they're doing. Trump's outburst about a Christian genocide in Nigeria is dangerous and absurd. The strategy is familiar. It echoes the white genocide narrative promoted by the far-right activists about Afrikaner farmers, a story that the Trump administration enthusiastically adopted. As with some Afrikaners, many Nigerian Igbos feel they are the victims of discrimination, second-class citizens of a country that has never quite healed from the wounds of the Biafran Civil War of 67 to 70. So nothing to see here. Christians not being killed. It's actually Muslims as well. And you've got the whole story wrong. That's what the Western media wants you to believe. And they want you to be outraged by Trump getting the wrong information again. Now, Trump didn't get the wrong information the first time. He's not getting the wrong information the second time. The fact of the matter is, if you use any proper reporting, and especially from the Christian watchdog organizations that cover martyrdom and attacks on Christians worldwide, you'll know that 72,000 Christians have been slaughtered in Nigeria for their faith, not because they've been swept up in a wider conflict, but because they're Christians. You can go and look. Fox News did an interview with a Nigerian Christian now 2-3 days ago. You can find it on YouTube, where he says this is all true. He has seen this multiple times. There's more persecution against Christians in the last 100 years than in all the previous centuries combined. The escalation against Christianity and the truth has risen to epic levels that might not have touched you where you're living in a first world country just yet, but it is rising through the roof in persecuted countries like Nigeria, like North Korea, like Iran, like China, various places all over the world. And in first world countries, you're already seeing a massive onslaught against Christianity taking place. But deaths, rapes, murders, burning down of buildings and property, these are all things that are normal and accepted in countries like Nigeria. And it's not right. And it's good that a leader is speaking out about it and saying something about it, because it is happening. It needs to be addressed. And they're calling it absurd, and they're saying he's confused because they don't want any light or any information about this to be made public. We won't be silenced. And even if Trump didn't speak out, we will continue speaking out and praying for our persecuted brothers and sisters who are suffering on the front lines of these end times that we're living in. So don't listen to the media. He's got this right. This is happening in Nigeria. They need our prayer and they need intervention because they are being systematically slaughtered for their faith. Shalom.